Nameless poem. The first time I've ever seen him wear his airman battle uniform was in an old photograph. My father was a soldier, and for half of my childhood, I thought that this was just a really good action movie, where my father was the lead, and I am under intensive training. Starting with course number 1, Introduction to Fighter Fundamentals. It all began on that Friday evening, when my father had decided it's time to teach me crying is for the weak. He attacked my sobs and sloppy breath with his giant military hands to stop me from making noise before we get caught. Yes, my father was a warrior, and we were in a war zone, but I ran to my bomb shelter, and I still do every night. Creeping into bed like a sunflower that plucks out its petals with the dying of the light. But more as a wounded trooper than that of a flower, because flowers, he told me, are for scented coffins and graveyards of those with weaker souls, and your bed isn't one. My curiosity grew as fast as an airship dropping missiles, only to find black bullets in the socks drawers and piles of yellow papers filled with bearded faces of strangers. Wrinkles, overgrown eyebrows, and crooked teeth, but not one single smile. Perhaps they were photos of traitors or suspects, but what if those dark, furious eyes belonged to heroes? What if that's the new face of bravery? The first time I called you at work was the first time I heard your voice rhyming the sounds of guns and explosives behind you. And all I did was give myself the illusion that you're giving me commands out in the field, standing but with an arched back and clenching fists, ready to combat, but I was the enemy. For years, my father has been absent without a valid leave, not from the Air Force but from home. He was flying on the days I loved him, but like a good captain falling down with his ship when I loathed him. And I know it makes no sense, but I look at my hands and I see his. I see his tremble and the attempt to hide it, until I noticed a doctor's note on his counter one day, prescribing medicine for that quiver. My memory always goes back to the dim. It's never easy to sleep. I crack my skull open to make way for the light, to ease what's left of my green. I should have known that your anger will bombard my fears and wipe off poetry stains off my lips and fingertips. I was on my knees, facing a blast wall, with my hands up in the air, swinging. I was in that white room, in that position for a day. It was too pale. The only form I molded myself in was poetry, and I'm not even sorry it exploded out of me. Oh, Father, don't you know? That's the only way I knew how to conquer the enemy and win. I did not pass the Special Forces qualification course, but instead, I came out of it with more muse and verses for my stories, for half of my childhood was in a barbed wire, weeping artistry and dreading love and femininity, only to find the truth. The genes I inherited from him are braided with trauma and highlights of distant, bitter shrieks. But if you look really close, you'll see me dancing to them. A sunflower that learned to bloom without the sun. Thank you.
شكراً.